Right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining the session today, the PMP webinar review once again. So it's yet another session where we'll cover some topics on change management and a few artifacts as well, and also issue management. So in projects. So our instructor for today is Dr. Innocent, who is authorized trainer from Rwanda, will be able to take us through the session today. Feel free to post any questions on the chat, or if you'd like to ask a question, we'll have a moment to do that at the end, where you'll be able to ask directly. Um, Feel free to engage, interact with others, share where you're joining us from, post when you're sitting for your PMP exam on the chat, even as we proceed. I will now hand over to Dr. Innocent to take through. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Nelson. I'm honored to be with you again. Thank you for the opportunity. Maybe last week, there are the guys who I was not with them, or it is the first time. So my name is Dr. Innocent Rusagara. I'm from Kigali, Rwanda. The world's project destinations, as you can see. Maybe the people who have been there in the PMI events, it happened at Convention Center. But I start always encouraging people to do the exam, to just schedule the exams as quick as possible. And I say the PMP exam content first equal exam content outline. The exam content outline, it's number one to know. When you complete your training, you should download from the PMI the exam content outline, and you go through the outline. You check in the process. In the pupil, we are having 14 processes. We are having 14 tasks. In the processes, we are having 17 tasks. And business environments, we are having 4 tasks, and we'll be having 35. So after the training, after doing some assessments, then you check in the ECO if you can master all of the outlines, which are there, 35 outlines. Then you have to navigate your PMI. In the PMI, when you log in and you go into your course material, there is where you will be seeing the spotlights, some videos. Those videos will help you. For example, when you are reading, after reading, maybe you can reserve just like 15 minutes for videos. You go there, you take the videos. There are some really keywords that you master and some key information, especially in terms of methodology, the the project management methodology, predictive, adaptive, hybrid, and so on. So through videos, you will be learning. Another thing, you have to know that you should be having the type of practice questions. The first one is the PMP study hall. The PMP study hall, when you are utilizing it while learning, you may need a second one at the end so that you can test from it. Why? Because the first practice quizzes, if you have gone through several times, just repeating, now you will be passing some questions, just not because you know them, but because they happened. You have seen them in the previous sessions. So which means sometimes to have a second choice is good. But this second choice of practices is good if you have done a lot of attempts. But if there are very few attempts and you see that you are above 80%, no need to find other practices. So Those are the information that I given you, the 3 points that really you have to have in your mind. Another thing, you have to schedule an exam as quick as possible. So when you take more than 3 months, you start to lag behind. Why? There is what we call the effort time and elapsed time. So in 3 months, it is the elapsed time. So what is the effort time? So you should be counting the number of hours that you are putting on your project management, on your PMP exam preparation. Because after the class course, you will also be doing your internal reading and learning. You will be doing some practices and so on. So you have to be consistent. And then in 3 months, you can schedule your exam. Another thing you have to remember, after 30th of June, a new version of the exam will come in. So better, if you are following now, you have to do the exam before 30th of June so that you use the preparation, so that the preparation you have been providing becomes meaningful. Another thing is also attending those guidance provided by the PMI Sub-Saharan program, PMP exam prep. Why? Because the way the material are planned, mostly you find that they are mixing the task. I told you that we are having the pupil, 14 tasks, process, 17 tasks, business environments, 4 tasks, then there are 35 tasks. So in the formal notes, they connect them, they mix them. But in this preparation, in these supports from the PMI, they have tried to be aligning the content with the task. For example, today we'll be doing manage project changes, which is task number 10 in processes, manage project artifacts, which is task number 12, determine appropriate project methodology or methods and practices, which is a 13 process in the process, and then manage project issues, which is in the 15th task in the process. So I believe now you understand. Anyway, I have started. Maybe you were thinking that it was an introduction, but I gave you guidance how you can prepare your exam. You shouldn't be exceeding 3 months. You should be very consistent. You should also be attending those PMI events, which are happening always on Tuesday and Thursday. So now let us go to the agenda of today, which is what you are seeing here. We'll be talking about the manage project changes, manage project artifacts, determine appropriate project methodology or methods, and manage project issues. You know, the exam will start with change and will end with change. They will tell you a key stakeholder from here and here and here, he's claiming this. What can you do? So when a stakeholder is talking about, maybe he needs that you adapt yourself to what he wants. This is really a change. But a change doesn't happen the way it has to be. The change has have its own process. There are process of just really approving the change. And if you are in bigger projects, or if you are managing some big projects, you can't escape change. A project without change requests is not a project. Those are operations or simple projects that can be run by anyone. But when we are talking about change, it is really very often. Why? Actually, any new business that will be coming in, it can't last more than 3 months when another one competing for it will be coming in. With the age of AI, You have to adapt yourself to the change. The change is really dramatic. So change really, it's something very important, but you shouldn't be changing the way you want. You change following the process, how things, either any methodology that will be applying, because sometimes people think that in change, in agile, because it is change driven, we don't follow the process. No. In agile, the difference with predictive and adaptive, the adaptive, or you take small things, then you do continuous improvements. You just have maybe some stand-up meeting, retrospective meeting. You do, you divide your team into smaller teams, and you divide your activity into smaller activities. Just this is the approach, but it does not remove the approval process for change. Maybe it is more adaptive, but change should be having the approval process. So now manage project artifacts. You know, always visualization is something very, very important. So the project management plan does have a lot of artifacts. You can find work breakdown structure. You can find Gantt charts. You can find network diagrams. You can find all of those are artifacts that you can utilize while really managing a project, while facilitating or leading your team. And then the methodology, the approach. Also, the approach will be depending on the project type as well as the organization, because organizations are having different cultures and are having different way of working, and based on how they are structured internally, there will be a methodology that can be appropriate to that. But remember, when we are talking about the methodology, we are having two main, and then the hybrid: predictive, adaptive, and hybrid. When you are talking about predictive, it is also called waterfall or traditional. When you are talking about adaptive, it is also called agile. And then hybrid, it is a combination. Then the manage project issues, you should be able to differentiate issue, risk, constraints. So the risk, it is something which is probabilistic. It may happen or may not happen. But when the risk is now happening, is arising, now the issue comes. So the issue is just like the output of the risk, which is realizing itself. And when the issue is there, you shouldn't be, you have to look at it to address it by utilizing any mean. Regardless of where it is coming from, it is an issue. You have to work around it. So to respond to issue, we say work around issue. To respond to risk, we are saying risk response. So you understand that the issue is different from a risk. A risk is probabilistic. An issue, it has happened. So this is now just like the summary of what you are going to do today. After this, I will be sharing as usual the practice question. And as we have seen in my previous sessions, now we have upgraded so that when we give you the questions, they are at least like a 20 and they are more challenging. So that's it. So now we will be starting with managing project change. You know, in the project change, you should be, we must have a change management plan. There is a change management plan. And in the change management plan, it means it is a plan that will show you how changes can be addressed if they happen. So now I told you that you can't have any type of project that can't have change. If the project doesn't have change, it means that it is not a project. It is something very usual. It is not something that you can call a project. So now, sorry, you have to plan for complexity and change. If you are having an organization, you have to be ready for change. And the change, they come from different reasons. There are some changes which are based to the period. For example, for the PMP or for any certification, a certification does have a period where they have to revise the curriculum and they prepare something different. So this is just like the period. There is something which can come suddenly. For example, the changes have happened with COVID. The changes have happened with Marburg in Rwanda. The changes are happening due to the war in the Middle East. So the change will be happening just from different reasons. There are also some changes that can be brought in by human. Even for us, you grow, you are a child, you become mature, you become old, and so on. There are changes on your body, but also they are changing the project that you are doing. So I say that really the change can come from anywhere. So they may be system-based, they may be from the problem or process-based. So it will be. In any case, the change will be there. So how to approach complex plans, fail fast and self-correct. So now I will tell you, don't bother about failing. Only if you don't have your PMP, this is what I don't want you to be. In any case, in the exam, you are having two outcomes. Either you pass or you fail. If you fail, it will help you to know. First, you will know that the PMP is very tedious, and you will know that people who have PMP are different from others. Apart from that, you will learn, you will know the weaknesses, you will know what to improve. So when you fail, always you have to, you learn. But if you fail and you abandon, this is something which is not for human. This is not something which is for project managers. So instead of planning, rely on tailoring adaptability and resilience. Yes, plan, it has to be there on highest really level, but you will be adapting yourself to the situation. So now the project artifacts, when we come with project artifacts, so they will be enabling a construction of the history of the project and to benefit other projects. For example, if in your room, you are having the Gantt charts or Kanban board, you will be knowing where are we, where this guy is, where this activity is it in progress? Is it not yet started? Is it complete? So anyway, so artifacts, they will be giving you really the status of the project. So now, most of the universities are having the libraries, and organizations are having folders. Why those folders are there? Those are really there to help you if you need to recall something. So those are artifacts. So you can see here, this is something like a library. So now when we are talking about artifacts, so it is really a simple way to produce and control documents and standardize the formats that can be utilized. For example, when you go into the projectmanagement.com, if you are the member of PMI, you get access to the projectmanagement.com. If you go there, you will find a lot of artifacts. You will get templates, project management plan templates, project charter templates, project statement templates. So many things are there. So they're really the artifacts. They will be helping you to know where you are and also what you need. You can consult an artifacts and then it helps you. So you have to maintain artifacts. There is what we call configuration management plan. This is what we call just like a version controls. It's a plan. It is a project management plan which show the version. For example, when there are changes, you have to integrate the changes into the project management plan, because some activities that were planned in the previous project management plan, they have changed, and you have to include that change. But also what has been changed. For example, the previous project management's version, it has to be there so that people can check it. So it's really apply version control to all artifacts, especially important ones like the project management plan. So you have everything that you do, you have to give a version. Without giving it a version, the people will be coming to consult, to read it. They will not know. They will not know what is it. They may take the previous version rather than taking the updated version. So now we go into the methodologies. As I told you, we have predictive, adaptive, and hybrids. So we will be, first you have to understand how and why approaches are different. So they will be different because you are not in one organization. You are in a different organization, and the organization differs, and they have different cultures, and they have different complexity. So it means that the method, the approach to use, it will be depending on the situation. But in a brief, if the requirements are very clear, you use predictive. If the requirements are very difficult or even complex, now the agile will be needed. So that means that the approach will be, you can't say this is the best approach. No, the approach will be depending on the type of the projects. So now in the project management development approaches, those three approaches are there. There's the one, the predictive, it is plan driven, and the adaptive, it is change driven. Then the hybrid, it is when you are combining both. So now in terms of certainty about requirements, like I have said before, when the certainty is high from the beginning, you use predictive. When it is very low, you have to use adaptive. So now in the predictive, anyway, by the way, when you see, those are signage. The first one, which is showing something like linear arrows, this is just for the predictive. Now, the one which is showing the cycle, which is just really, when we are talking about cycle or sprint or iterations. So this is it. So the second one means just really the adaptive. And then the last one means a combination of predictive and adaptive. So it is hybrid. So toward the change and risk, the predictive changes are possible, but they are controlled. But in adaptive, the changes are a lot. They are a lot. And why they are a lot? Because requirements, they are not clear. They are unclear or customer driven. So needs further discovery. So you understand the reason. So now the project or products, sometimes there is a growth. There is at the beginning, and then there is a growth stage, and there is a maturity, and there is a decline. So that is why even always we are talking about the change. For example, if you go, you see automotive industries, let me say Toyota. The Toyota models that were there in 190s, 170 and so on, they are no longer, I don't even know if the Toyota was really great as it is now. By that time, maybe we are talking about Renault, we're talking about, so, but when you see now, those models, they have disappeared. They are having, now we are having new models. So that is how the product is, and this is really understandable always. So the life cycle, what type of life cycle is depicted here? What is depicted here is just like the predictive, okay, where you do feasibility, design, build, test, deploy, close. So this is just the predictive, adaptive. That is the predictive or waterfall or traditional. So now when you go into adaptive, it is iterative. Iterative means what? You do something small, and then you check, you repeat until it is approved. And then after being approved, you get maybe the first feature. You release that feature which is under use. And after some times, you can increase from that feature to another feature. This is what we call continuous improvements. So maybe you will be seeing what we call MVP, minimum viable products. It is that minimum thing that can make things happen, but which is not complete. So from the minimum viable products, we are also having minimum business increment, MBI. From that feature, you can add another small feature, and we'll be talking about an MBI. So, adaptive development approach. As you see here, you do the MVP here, minimum viable product. When you see here the MVP, this is the minimum viable product. Then after getting an MVP, you get, you do an increment when you need. So the minimum viable product, it is something which can be utilized, but which is not yet complete. It is a feature. Maybe there are some other features which are not working. So this is how the adaptive is. You check with the user, with the customer, they give feedback, which then you update your user stories, and then you do another sprint or another cycle until the customer accepts, and then you get your first feature. So now in the development approaches, as it is now maybe online, they say project professional use or method, which can be predictive. So it is development approach, incremental, adaptive, or hybrid. So the approach can be either predictive, iterative, incremental, adaptive, or hybrid to create and evolve a deliverable, which is unique and verified product, result, or capability to perform a service. So a process, a project passes through a series of logical related activities called phases. And this entire process is called a life cycle. Acceptance of a deliverable is required to complete a process, phase, or project. So now, a deliverable must be accepted so that you say, I have completed. When we are talking about the acceptance criteria in the adaptive, we'll be saying definition of that. Maybe we'll be seeing it shortly. So now, this is what I started with. If you have simple requirements, you will be utilizing linear approach work well here. Means predictive work well here. When now the requirements are complicated and complex, those are adaptive. You have to use agile. And when really requirements are very, very complicated and technicality is not very easy, so now it is fundamentally risky. You are not advised to perform that project. This is really a chaos. But when you have a highest expertise, you can focus there because very few people are in those kind of projects. So you will see now, you can see now the agile, hybrid, predictive. The domain for the agile, it is when really you don't know much. In hybrids, you are having where you know and somewhere you don't know, and then you use hybrid. And then predictive, it is when really you know the requirements 100%. So this is iterative and incremental overview. The first one is predictive, then incremental iterative. So you start small, you increase feature by feature.
Dr. Innocent, the video doesn't have sound.
So it doesn't have sound. I
No.
was thinking that, oh, very sorry. So if it does not, so now how can I make?
What you want to do is stop sharing, but when you're sharing, again, when you click on the share button at the top, ensure that you include sound.
Wait. So it means, wait. Very sorry for that. Okay, let me stop sharing.
Yeah.
I'm so
Just stop.
sorry. I have spent your time for really nothing. Now, when I'm going to share,
Yeah,
include
at the top,
sound. Yo, it wasn't
include.
included.
Yeah.
I highly apologize. Very sorry.
The word iterate
Can you hear now?
comes from the Latin iterare, meaning
Yes.
to repeat.
Yes.
Thus, an iterative way of working repeats itself over and over, optimizing itself each time it does. In an iterative process, work flows into the product backlog from minimum business increments and from the release roadmap. The product backlog is where the team collects all the work flowing to the team. The product owner prioritizes the product backlog, signaling to the team what work is the most important. At the start of each iteration, the team pulls the work they plan to do from the product backlog into the iteration backlog. This is a key point. The team pulls the amount of work it thinks it can get done during the iteration, not the product owner, team manager, or stakeholders. The iteration is the time box around the team's work. The team starts with the iteration planning and ends with the iteration review. Agile teams usually choose between an iteration length of 1 to 4 weeks, with 2 weeks being the most common choice. Regularly, the team meets for a coordination meeting, also called a stand-up or scrum. The stand-up helps the team coordinate and work in a quick and informal way. The iteration review ends the iteration. This review has 2 parts. It reviews the product and solution built in the iteration and the process, how the team worked together, and what got in their way. In the demo, the team
So, yeah, anyway, so I think it was just trying to explain how you do the minimum viable products, the minimum business increments. How do you do that? The entire process. So now also the Scrum is just really a framework which is implemented at the product development team level. What does it mean? It means that you take your bigger team, then you divide into smaller teams who are manageable. So when you are really utilizing just really the Scrum, you base on teams and smaller teams that can be controlled. This is what I can say. So then there is what we call Scrum ceremonies, sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, can include demo, sprint retrospective. So it means that you are having a sprint retrospective or stand-up meeting. You do a stand-up meeting, and then you do a review, and you can do also sprint retrospective after a sprint to see what went well, what did not go well, and how did you improve, how did you reach there, and the user stories are updated. So the agile ceremonies, you have to celebrate. Now we are just like near the end where we are talking about issues. Remember, I have said issues are different from risk. Risk is probabilistic. But when risk happens, now the issue comes in. So now, issue, impediments, obstacle, or blocker, those are really the things. But in Agile, we talk about impediments. And a leader or a project manager remove obstacles. This is your exercise. So issue or impediments just solve the problem. As I told you, don't see why, whatever, this is an issue. You have to confront it. So now maybe in the risk response and the issue work around, like I have told you, and you see the risk they focused on the future can be positive or negative, are documented in the risk register. Response is called the risk response. While issue, they are focused on the present, will always be negative, are documented in the issue log. Response is called workaround. Just in your view for, so they may come from different things, from quality review, from cost control, from whatever. So issues are issues. Those are the prone to issues. And then when you are having the issue, you should be having the issue log, where every issue is here given an identification, is also given a description, and then also the time it has been, and also when is due to be responded, and then the priority on the issue, and then who will be dealing with what, and then the response that we type, and then the status, and then the comment on the issue. So the issue have to be registered under issue log and in that format. And every issue should be assigned to the owner. So then here they say discover and solve impediment using Scrum. That's using teams discussing, team that's discuss. So here, for example, you see a small team, they are just discussing maybe on some issues. But always, you have to solve it. Don't say, maybe this the person brought it. And so, no, solve the issue and then discuss about it later. Those are history. So remove impediments. So you have to track also impediments, reprioritize the product backlog, use daily stand-up meeting, be a servant leader. A servant leader is a leader who removes impediments. So I believe this is now maybe the end of the presentation, but I want you to do a test as we used to do. I'm going to give it to you. Those are good questions because we are a PMI, we are an ATP, a premium ATP, and we should be having very good practice questions to test you. The ones who want to do the exam, I want them to have above 80%. Over 20, 16 over 20 at least. Please put your efforts, and this will help you. Nelson.
Yes.
I want the people to be doing this assessment. Then after this assessment, then I will be taking questions from all over.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's a link that has been shared on the chat. Dr. Innocent, how many minutes are we giving for the questions to be answered? Dr. Innocent, can you hear me?
Yeah, 20 minutes because there are 20 questions.
Okay, 20 minutes.
Thank you.
For those that are just joining, there is a link on the chat. Click on that link. There's 20 questions there. You have 20 minutes to answer the questions. And then we should reconvene back after 20 minutes. Once you answer, just paste you should be able to get the results and also paste on the chat and just let us know that you've completed. We have 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go. For those that just joined, there's a link on the chat with questions, 20 questions. You can start, you have 20 minutes to join, but majority of the candidates already started this before, so we'll be done in about 9 minutes. But you could still go ahead and do the questions. I think we should be done by now. Dr. Innocent, are you here?
Yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see.
How are the responses coming along?
Yes, let me just trying to see the. Only 11 responses now.
Okay.
But the average is 8/20, which means that maybe it is challenging them. So let us give to them maybe other 5 minutes so that so no one did yet get 20/20. Yeah, that's a very good assessment. Huh? Remember, failure is not a problem. The problem is to remain there. So this assessment is just to challenge you, to show you maybe your weaknesses, but it's good. Rather than having 20/20 and fail the PMP exam, better to have like a 2, then know your weaknesses, and then the exam, you get your PMP at the first attempt. Yes, please keep it up. Try to finish. Try to finish. Wow, wow, 14. Uh-huh. 12. 12 is also good. Huh? So, can you finish? Okay. So now I think people can continue at their own. I can see that 52 responses are there while we are around 80. So it means that it's a good number. But I attract you to do much more to complete this, because if you can see the percentage we are getting, just the average is 8.35. So while we expected to get 16, and up to now, no one has got 16. So, and those are 20 questions. How about 200 questions or 183 questions? That will be in the 180 questions of PMI, you understand what will be happening. So now you can ask questions while you can still do. I'm so happy that no one got yet 0, which was also an outcome that was planned. Please, you can ask questions.
Feel free to just raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. And
Yes, Martin. We can't hear you, Martin.
Did I see someone with raised hand?
She had raised Martin.
Okay. I'm going to just see if I can unmute and enable the mic. 1 second. All right, your mic, Martin, is.
So you can
enabled.
unmute. Martin, can you unmute now? Your mic is active. You can unmute. Just unmute. Very sorry, you are muted, Martin. You are mute.
Okay, as we wait for.
Good, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, doctor. But the test for today was very tough.
Did you do the last week test?
No.
Okay. You did not appear in that.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, so I would just need to ask the question related to the exam, the preparation of the exam. If I get you well. So you mentioned that people need almost 3 months for preparation. Is that is true?
No, when you study, when you start to study day 1, in 3 months when you did not do the exam, you are lagging behind. So which means that from the time you go in face-to-face instructor-led class, you should count 3 months so that in 3 months you are done.
Okay.
That's what I have said.
Okay. Second, I was you were like mentioning about the study hall.
Yes.
Yeah, from my side, I have realized that when I click on study hall, they ask me to pay $34.
Yeah, the study hall is a paid version. For the people who are following the PMI ATPs, they are having some practice questions which are provided by the PMI, and you can follow the system that you have the access to.
Okay. So means I have to pay.
Yeah, if you want, yes, you have to pay. For either 3 months or 6 months. This is how it lasts. It will be depending on Yeah.
The last one is, I see the question here. If I count, you gave us 20 minutes for 20 questions. So in the exam, it means you have to work on one question you have to spend only 1 minute.
Yes, because when you count, let me take 180 questions in 230 minutes. You will see that a question can have just 1.2 minutes. So to be safe in your side, always when you are in the exam, you keep checking the clock so that if, for example, 10 minutes are passed, you should have completed at least 10 questions and so on, so that you keep your pace. Then the other 0.2 minutes around, then those ones will be utilized for you for the flagged questions when you are going back into the flagged questions.
Okay, thank you.
Nelson, who will be, is Okine or Boniface? Who do you give the floor first? Okine, please.
Yes.
Yes. Please, I wanted to ask a question, which is something that confuses me. I don't know why I saw it, but it has to do with the Kanban boards, the work in progress for each bucket. I know there's a limit that each should have.
A limit, like what, in Kanban?
Yeah, Kanban board. With the
Kanban
Kanban
boards,
board.
yes,
Yes.
in Kanban boards, wait. In Kanban boards, they show you the activity which are not yet started and the activity which are in progress and the activity which are complete. And also on the Kanban boards, you can put also the people responsible for that. But when you go into the Gantt charts, in the Gantt chart, it is where you put also the duration of every activity. You can also bring maybe in the Kanban boards, but on the Gantt charts, you are having the activity duration, every activity, because the Gantt chart, it is plotted on calendar days, where, for example, you say 16th of April, 17th, 18th, to 19, 20 years, maybe you will be working on this. So in the Gantt chart, it is where the activities, they are also visualized along with the timestamp.
Okay, but when it comes to the work in progress, is there a limit? Can you have more than a number of work in progress, or you shouldn't have more than maybe 5, more than 6?
So the work in progress, you know, when you are having a Kanban board is for the entire project with all of the team, with all of the activities which are there. So the Kanban board, it is just it is a radiator which is showing you the progress. So the progress.
So there's no strict rule.
There is no strict rule which is there. The strict rule, you will be finding it in a particular activity in the Gantt chart, because
in the Gantt chart.
Okay. Yes, in the Gantt chart. And the Gantt chart, it comes from the network diagram. In the network diagram, you remember where we are having a critical path. Yes. It is where really you show, but in the network diagram, they show the activity durations, but they don't put the calendar days. So every artifact does have its own advantage and disadvantage. For example, in the network diagram, we don't put the calendar time. We just put duration. For example, if I say this activity will be taking 80 days, if it takes 80 days, and then when we put on the calendar days, you may even find that it takes just 10 days. Why 10 days? Because Saturday and Sunday wasn't included. And you may even find that there is a holiday in 1 week, and then it can take 13 days. It can be in 13 days, yet it is 80 days. So, which means that on the network diagram, there is no visualization in calendar, and you may be fainted. For example, someone can tell you the critical path for this project is 120 days. And then yet it tells you, okay, let me give you 4 months. You are going to complete this project. Automatically, you are going to die. Because the 4 months, there are 120 days. And the critical path of this project, the duration of this project is just 120 days. But 120 days, when you put them on calendar day, then you will find that they can even be just like 6 months. You get
Okay.
it now? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay, I don't know why I saw that. I saw something, so I thought it was a strict, like you have to have a particular number of events in the work in progress. But now that makes sense. It varies. It varies.
sure. Yes,
Okay. And
Boniface.
can I
Yeah,
can I
okay.
also write when we start the exam, is it advisable to spend time to write the formulas, or you think that would take too much time if you're writing the formulas down?
Anyway, so when you are there, so now when you start the exam, there are around 15 to 30 minutes. I don't remember. There are numbers of hour. There is a time they give you for just learning about the system where you are not doing any questions. So if you need to write some formula or anything, take that time and make sure that that time is really well utilized. That time is for what? They show you maybe the system that you are going to utilize. They show you maybe the button, maybe how to go on the next, how to go on back, how to flag questions, and those instructions. So immediately you read the instructions and you complete them, but you don't finish, then immediately you start to write your formulas. Then after, you can start your exam when your formulas are well written on the board that they have given you. For example, if it is on the testing center, because on the testing center, there is a tool they give you where you can write. Yes, Boniface?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm just a week in these preparations, and today I'm hearing that by 30th system will change, will go to another. Can I say that I'm too late? I should
No.
get prepared.
No, you are not. So did you complete your studies, or it is your first, because did you attend any ATP training?
No, currently I'm doing my 35.
You are doing your
BGs.
35 hours, so that's fine.
Yes.
So
yeah.
try to concentrate on that and make sure, because I have a student who have also sat for the exam in 2 weeks. So he just prepared for 2 weeks. After the training, the 2 weeks were enough for him to pass his PMP certification. And by that time, it was even highly challenging, because by that time, we were having processes, 49 processes. Yeah, but he passed.
Okay, thank you so much. So, all right, I think I'm okay on that one. You can continue with others. Yeah.
Okay, so Folly?
Yes, Doc, please, my challenge is question 4. Question 4, could you explain it? Because the answer, I had it wrong, and the answer that was selected is quite confusing. So can you have a look at it? Because, or should I read?
The question 4.
Yes.
Okay, you can read.
Okay, so in a complex software development project, a spike was scheduled to clear implementation ambiguities. After the spike was finished, numerous teams requested changes to the project. What should the project manager do? And the A says, prioritize the backlog based on the requested changes. Advise the project owner, the product owner, to meet with the customer to elicit clearer requirements. 3, schedule a backlog requirement meeting. And then 4, send the requested changes to the project sponsor for approval. So I chose the A because I was thinking the product owner that does the reprioritization, And the question here is, what should the project manager do? I'm thinking it's the same as the product owner. And then scheduling a backlog requirements meeting. So the answer they picked was scheduling a backlog requirements meeting. So I got a bit confused. So I'll be grateful if you can explain the whole question and why it should be that one. I read the explanation, but I wasn't convinced.
You wasn't convinced with the explanation.
Just keep the question says, what should the project manager do? And is the product owner your question? Is it the product owner that schedules backlog requirement meetings? Or is it the project team that schedules backlog requirement meetings? So I was thinking this refers to the rule.
So what does it mean? What does it mean? Backlog refinements. What is refinements?
So backlog refinements are done during the spring planning.
So now the issue here, they are saying that a spike was scheduled to clear implementation ambiguities. Then after the spike was finished, numerous teams requested the change to the projects. So what did them? Because if it is the change to the project, so it is keywords here, you are having ambiguities. So what does it mean, the keywords on an ambiguities? It means that requirements, because when you are talking about backlog is what? Or user stories backlog. It means the requirements, the information about really the products that has to be done is not really enough. It is too ambiguous. So if it is ambiguous, it means that it is not refined. So the keyword there was just the ambiguity. So if requirements are not clear, then you have to change. What are you going to change? Do you know what you are going to do? So you have to do, because you don't do changes as really as you want. You have to follow, even submitting. What are you going to submit? Because every change, it does have a change request. So maybe the change request that you can ask, it means maybe let us pause and then we go to do a requirements, to analyze the requirements again. Is my explanation making sense?
Okay, so does it mean they are looking at the holistic picture? Because you can do the reprioritization during the requirement. You want us to pick the bigger, look at the bigger picture, but not go straight to the solution.
You know, let me not just be answering by elimination. For example, send the requested change to the project sponsor for approval. Now I can ask, which change did the demo ask? Just because something is ambiguous. So before sending a change request, first of all, you have to be clear of what you are changing and what you are going to do instead of this. So now send the request, the changes to the project sponsor for approval. This is wrong because it was just like it is not, whatever they have said is not objective, is subjective. It is general, it is generic. Okay? Now, this is the last one is eliminated. Now, reprioritize the backlog based on the requested change. So the requested change, now, what they have said, they have said we should change, but they didn't specifically say this, this. So, because now, when you go also on your preliminary backlog based on the requested change, it is now like you are just like implementing what has been approved as a change. So you don't do anything. This is not, you did not yet reach to this level. Advise the product owner to meet with the customer to elicit clearer requirements. Maybe here, but the customer, if it is just like in agile environments, you may even find the customer, he knows what he wants, but in terms of how you are going to do the things, you don't, even him, he may not be understanding technically how the things have to be done. So the keywords ambiguity, that's why schedule a backlog refinements meeting with the team, so that in that meeting, you can even call maybe subject matter experts who you want, and maybe they join, so that from the organization, so that really you try to clarify. Then after refinement meeting, then it is when you can do a change request, because you know maybe this can be this can be this. Rather, so you have just like defined the clear scope. So the keyword there was ambiguity. It is not clear. Ambiguity means that it is not clear. You don't know what you are going to do. Yes, Fabrice?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Fabrice? Fabrice? Okay, maybe it was by mistake.
Hello,
No, you
know. Can
okay,
you hear me
yes.
now? Okay. Thank you very much for this session. So I started attending these sessions, I think last, the one which we held on Tuesday, and this is my second one. So I tried the test. I scored, I think, 13 out of 20. But what I have a concern on the question number 9. Number 9. So it is, I can read the question quickly. A car manufacturing company is establishing a new production line for autonomous cars. The company is considering adopting an agile approach to develop the embedded software. A consulting office is contracted to manage the approach transition project. During a meeting between the newly contracted project manager and the R&D manager, the R&D manager conveys their opposition to adopting the agile approach. What should the project manager do? So what I choose, so we have four answers. The first one, prepare the project charter. Second one, update the communication management plan to address the R&D manager's opposition. Review the stakeholder engagement plan to address the R&D manager's opposition, and add the R&D manager's opposition has a risk to the risk register. So the one I chose was to review the stakeholder engagement plan to address the R&D manager. But what I'm seeing in the answer is prepare the project charter. So I'm not seeing the link between this question and the project charter. Please, can you explain? Thank you.
Okay, so now, What your answer was what?
Review.
Review the stakeholder engagement plan.
To
Why
address
did you?
the
Why did
R&D
you?
manager's opposition. So I
Now,
see that there is a opposition in the question, okay, related to R&D managers. So my feeling was to review the engagement plan so that that concern can be addressed.
okay.
But my point is, I'm not seeing the link between the question and the project charter. This is
I'm trying to see also, maybe it might be a project manager is leading a software development project for a safety criminal system. The project completely has is leading a software, has insisted the adoption of cloud-based during a project audit. The project manager recently discovered that.
No, question number 9. I think we
it
are
is number 9.
9.
Okay. Car Manufacturing is establishing a new product line for an autonomous car. The company is considering adopting. So now, this is, it is now in initiation. It didn't do anything. The company is considering adoption an agile approach to develop the embedded software. A consulting office is contacted to manage the approach transition project. During a meeting between the newly contracted project manager and the R&D manager, the research and development manager conveyed the opposition to adoption the agile approach. What should the project manager do first? Prepare the project charter, update the commissioning. Now, let me ask you, did this project start?
Somewhere I'm seeing so I can't say no, but there is a little bit, they are talking about transition in the question, transition approach. So it means that.
You know, the question says a car manufacturing is establishing a new production line. That new production line is not yet there.
Okay.
So it is a new project. And for every project, it has to start with a project charter. Because the project charter, it will be putting there a budget. It will be putting their boundaries, the constraints. It will be putting there a project manager. It will be putting their high-level risk which are there. It will be putting in an overall explanation. So without project charter, you can't do anything. You can't go anywhere. Sometimes, some projects, they start even before authorization. And you find that things are working. Yes, okay, let us do. But there has not been any approval yet. So the project charter, so maybe the explanation, they say the project manager should prepare the project charter. The project manager should be aware of the repetitive and incremental nature of the software, which is best managed by the agile approach. Opposition to the approach. Anyway, for me, what I can say, regardless of those words, no project can happen without approval.
True.
Yeah, that's the first thing. Sorry that I was reading a different.
Yes, I was a little bit confused when I see, you know, the transition project. So it looks like the project started somewhere.
Yes. Oh no, you are a transition. It is where you are just like completing, because the previous, there is a way you were using. But you know that you are going to do to automate your system. So now you have to transition to automation. But for automation, it has to be a new project, because you have to prepare things. Maybe the factory might be changing. There are some other machinery that should be coming in. Yeah, that's so the project was not yet. So you should be having a project charter first. Otherwise, you can even reach there in automation and then automatically they say, why did you go there? Maybe we made the meeting. So where is the budget? So anyway, so I see that there is no other question.
I have another issue, but it is a little small, little concern. So I'm in Congo Brazzaville, in
Yes,
Central Africa. So I will pass my exam on 27th of May.
Yes.
But I'm planning to do it in French because we are French speaking country. But I'm attending these sessions in English. So I don't know if there is any issue on that one.
No, let me tell you, attending this in English, it will be giving you the explanation. You will be understanding because now the project management is not about the language.
True.
It is about projects. Can you see maybe Chinese coming in your country and doing some project even when you are talking in your no, sorry. Talking French or anything they don't understand, but still you work on a project and then things go. So now let me tell you, maybe in terms of keywords, because for me, I'm not familiar with the French keywords, but there is something, a critical analysis. When we are in those preparation like that, we are just giving a critical analysis on particular aspects. For example, on this question, where I was saying that you should be first having the project charter. I believe also in French it has to be in the same. Even in Chinese, even in any other language, even in the Spanish, it has to be that. Yeah, so anyway, but in terms of keywords, use your French version so that you know all of the keywords. Yes, Okine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Dr.
thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Welcome,
yes,
welcome.
Number 20, question 20, right? With the second option, if the option was only update the issue log without assigning the bug fix to a development lead, would that have been the first thing? Shouldn't you immediately put in the issue log, then facilitate the meeting with the rest of the team?
Wait. Which question?
Question 20.
Question 20. Let me go there.
Do you always have
because...
to meet before you issue?
Wait. Question 20.
Assuming the second option, yes.
During the execution phase of a cross-functional software project, a critical bug is discovered in the integration layer. The development lead reports that resolving this will require 3 days of dedicated work, which will delay the upcoming user acceptance testing. Two key stakeholders have conflicting opinion. The quality assurance manager wants to delay while the user acceptance testing, while the marketing director insists on starting on time to meet a press release deadline. What should the project manager do first? You cite?
So I was asking, if I know there's a bug and there's also a conflict. However, if we assume the second option did not have assigning the bug fix to the development lead, would you say updating the issue log should be the first thing, then to quickly facilitate a meeting?
Yes, it should be. Yeah, because this is an issue. And you know, it has to be, now, for example, this issue, it has to be recorded in the issue log. Then immediately you assign it to the project manager who will be doing this to facilitate this meeting. Because the quality assurance and the marketing director, they have to meet and discuss, because the quality assurance, they show the importance of this to be resolved, because it may cause the brand damage. Or maybe here also, if it is really on highest level, because when you are talking about user acceptance testing, the user acceptance testing is something sometimes may happening on the ground and so on. Maybe it is a bigger project. You can also bring the sponsor in, or a key stakeholder, so that if, for example, there is a way that you can accelerate by increasing resources, so that at least maybe you fix it before that day. Otherwise, with the number of resources which are there, when you find that is not impossible, you have to find the marketing director, and maybe on the side also they can postpone. But this is an issue which has to be registered. Now you say update the issue log and I said the bug fix to the degree
No.
Yeah, no.
No, I was saying because they added that, I see why the answer is A. Because you can't go ahead and assign when you don't know what the issue, like you haven't gone into it. But I was saying if they hadn't added assign.
Yes, the issue log can be, but assign, you are assigning.
Yeah.
Now even this is a change request, because this activity wasn't even planned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Please,
Nelson.
Please, before you close, you shared last time with us the link, the YouTube page where we can find last webinars, but it is not updated. I could not find the one, the last 2 webinars over there. Please, yes,
yeah,
it is
maybe
not updated.
Nelson is going to say something, but today I will also be sending it to Nelson the PowerPoints of the last 2 sessions, so that they can be shared to all of you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. We haven't updated the previous webinars on that YouTube. We will do so hopefully by tomorrow, and then we will that link will have updated webinars as well. So thanks for flagging that. We are on it, and we'll share in the group as well as what Dr. Innocent has said about the presentation here, and we'll also share the schedule for next week. Tuesday and Thursday webinars as well. So we'd like to end there. Dr. Innocent.
The question in the
yes,
chat
fully.
earlier. I asked the question about explanation on the workaround when you were discussing the risk issue and you made a statement about workaround. But my line dropped, so I didn't hear what you said about it. So I asked in the chat, but I didn't see the response. So please help.
I don't get you. Did you ask in the chat?
Yes, I asked. I said you should kindly explain the workaround that you mentioned. When you were presenting, you mentioned what an issue is, what a risk is, and then you made a statement about workaround. I didn't hear that well. So I wanted to know what workaround is and what you said about it.
What is all about workaround?
Yes.
I think you were given the solutions to a risk or an issue. You were saying if there's a risk, it's a probability. So what you do if there's a risk, then you mentioned if there's an issue, it has happened. And what you do.
Wait. I wasn't really hearing you before. Now let me explain. I don't know what the mic was. The risk is probabilistic, while the issue is not probabilistic. The issue is something which has happened, and it will be always negative. While the risk is probabilistic, it can be positive, it can be negative. Let me give an example. For example, you can be a soccer team, and you'll be playing with Arsenal. So you can win or you can fail. This is the risk. The risk can be positive if you win. The risk can be negative if you fail. But you don't know what will be happening. But now you start to play, and then Arsenal is having the first goal. It is an issue now because if you wanted to win, you have to have at least 2 goals, and they shouldn't be winning another goal. So now that is the issue. You have to work around it. You have to work around Arsenal so that you get also your first goal and your second. Do you understand now the difference between a risk and an issue now?
Yes, so I asked of work around. At what circumstance
Yes, the work around, you work around it. Because when Arsenal is having 1 goal, you work around so that you can get also your goal. Then, so it means to respond to an issue, you work around. You work around because the issue is something that happened. You should be working on it so that you solve the issue. While for a risk, you plan a risk response. It is something which did not yet happen. Then you plan a response. While for the issue, you work. While for the risk, it did not yet happen, you plan. Then for the issue, it has happened, you work. Is now clear, Folly?
Yes, please, it's clear.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you too.
You're welcome. So now questions of today. I am dying. Boniface, please come.
So should we say an issue is a reactive or a proactive? And
no, an issue is the reactive. You reacted to it. You don't even, first thing first, find a solution for this. Don't even look for cause. Maybe you can look for cause to address it properly, but you know, something, it has to be solved. That's it.
Okay, so in that case, a risk is proactive.
Yeah, the risk is proactive because, you know, so most of the time, even, you know, when you are identifying risk, it is before you reach to those risks. And some risks are not even identified. They are even identified along the way when you are doing the project.
Okay.
So
in that case, maybe a risk, if you fail to identify a risk and you find that you have met that risk on that particular day, so it can be changed now to be an issue.
Yes, when the issue happens, when the risk happens, it becomes an issue. There is what we call risk triggers. It becomes a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, today it was hard, very interactive. Yeah. So Nelson, I think this might be the last one of this season. Do I have any other?
I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah, you check for me.
You do not have any other coming soon unless because there's a few more spaces I'm going to share soon if you can pick, but it's gonna take a bit of time, maybe a couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, thank you very much. It was really wonderful. So you can now take the floor and maybe you close.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Innocent. This was very insightful. Thank you for hosting the session and just sharing the questions with the candidates as well, and delivering such a very interactive session. So thank you for this, just dedicating your time for this and volunteering your time to help the candidates prepare. And to the candidates, thank you for showing up. Wishing you all the best as you prepare for your exams. Feel free to reach out to Dr. Innocent if you need to pick his mind on anything. If you need his guidance as well, interact on the chat as well. And all the best in your exams. Have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.